apocalyptic, but strange, like static in the air, and I've never felt quite right since then, like I'm slightly out of phase with reality. Proponents of this theory point to a notable increase in Mandela effects reported after 2012. While CERN's operations began in 2008, they argue that something fundamental changed in our reality around late 2012 or early 2013. Some claim the world itself feels different after 2012. The sun appears whiter, harsher than before. The moon seems larger and in a different position. The sky has a different quality of light. Even the feel of daily life seems subtly wrong. Everything since 2012 has felt like a simulation, stated former software engineer David Chen in online forums. Not in a matrix sense, but like we're living in a backup copy of reality. A version that's close to the original, but not quite right. The mechanism behind this alleged transfer remains speculative, but several theories have emerged. Quantum immortality. Based on the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, consciousness always continues along branches where it survives. If all of humanity faced extinction, our consciousness would automatically transfer to the nearest timeline where we didn't die, regardless of how improbable that timeline might be. CERN's accidental rescue. Some theorists suggest that CERN's December 2012 operations inadvertently created a quantum bridge just as the catastrophic event occurred. Rather than causing the problem, CERN may have accidentally saved humanity by opening an escape route into a parallel timeline. The merge theory. Perhaps 2012 didn't mark our death, but the moment when multiple timelines began merging. Different versions of Earth with slightly different histories and physical constants started occupying the same space. We didn't die. We merged with our alternate selves who remember things differently. Evidence of the split. Believers in the 2012 theory point to several phenomena. Timeline inconsistencies. Many people report that their personal histories feel off after 2012. Relationships that ended or continued differently than remembered. Jobs that records show they held but they don't fully remember. Geographical changes they only noticed after 2012. The personality shift. Numerous accounts describe people's personalities fundamentally changing around 2012-2013. Not gradual change, but sudden shifts where loved ones seem like different people occupying the same body. My husband is similar, but he's not the same man I married, wrote one woman in a Mandela Effect forum. Small things are different. His mannerisms, his food preferences, his memories of our early relationship. It's like I'm living with a slightly alternate version of him. Historical divergences. Several researchers have documented that certain historical events seem to have different details or outcomes depending on when you check. Books and websites from before 2012 sometimes contain different information than current versions, with no explanation for the changes. Collective trauma. Psychologists have noted an unusual pattern of disassociation and existential anxiety beginning around 2013 to 2014. While often attributed to social media and political polarization, some wonder if it reflects a deeper, unacknowledged collective trauma from an event we survived but cannot consciously remember. The CERN connection. What makes this theory particularly relevant to the CERN conspiracy is timing. CERN conducted significant operations in December 2012, including confirmation of the Higgs boson discovery, final high-energy runs before the scheduled shutdown, tests of new detection equipment, various experiments that remain partially classified. If CERN's experiments can create bridges between realities, could they have activated some kind of quantum safety mechanism at the moment of global catastrophe? Did the scientists at CERN accidentally save the world by providing an escape route into a parallel timeline? Or more disturbingly, did CERN cause the original catastrophe, then frantically open portals to alternate realities to save whatever humanity they could? If we did die and transfer to a new timeline, why don't we remember? Quantum continuity. Our consciousness may have seamlessly merged with our alternate selves in this timeline, inheriting most of their memories but retaining fragments of our original timeline. The Mandela effects. Psychological protection. The human mind might be incapable of processing its own death and rebirth. The memories could be suppressed as a defense mechanism, leaving only vague unease and the sense that something fundamental changed. Timeline coherence. For the new timeline to remain stable, memories of the previous reality may automatically decay or alter to match the new timeline's history. The Mandela effect would represent the failure of this process, memories that refuse to update. The uncomfortable questions. If we accept this theory even as a possibility, it raises profound questions. Are we the original versions of ourselves or copies that came into existence in 2012? Do we have souls? And if so, did they transfer with our consciousness? What happened to the versions of us that already existed in this timeline? Did we merge with them? Replace them? Or are we living in a timeline where our alternate selves never existed? And perhaps most disturbing, if we escaped one apocalypse by jumping timelines, are we now trapped in a reality that's slowly degrading because it was never meant to contain us? The counter-arguments. Skeptics rightfully point out that no verified scientific evidence supports the timeline jump theory. Psychological and neurological explanations adequately account for feelings of dissociation. The changes people notice could be explained by faulty memory and confirmation bias. The 2012 apocalypse predictions were never based on actual Mayan beliefs. Yet the theory persists because it offers a unified explanation for multiple phenomena: the Mandela effect, the increase in collective anxiety and disassociation, the sense that reality itself feels wrong, and CERN's mysterious activities around that crucial time period. Living in the wrong timeline. Whether or not we literally died in 2012, thousands of people worldwide report feeling like they're living in the wrong reality. They remember a different world, different histories, different physical laws. They feel like strangers in their own lives, refugees from another dimension. And if CERN's experiments continue to punch holes in the fabric of reality, we may find ourselves slipping further from whatever timeline we originated in, whether that was 2012, 2008, or some point even earlier that we've now forgotten entirely. The global implications. Let's assume for a moment that this is all real, that CERN has somehow created bridges between parallel realities and that we're experiencing the bleed-through effects as the Mandela effect. What does this mean for humanity? If realities are merging, then our history itself becomes unreliable. How do we know which version of events actually happened in our original timeline? How do we separate our memories from the contamination of parallel histories?